Hey, everybody, let's go and get started. Hey, first of all, thank you for coming out. Can everybody in the back hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hey, thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's a work night for everybody, for me too, but thank you for coming out. Anybody that shows up late will have to be seated right here in this room, because this is where our sweet tank kids are. Here at Tempe High School, if you're late, you come right here every day. So you sit there for 52 minutes looking at the four walls, nothing to do. So this is called the RLC. It's a Respect and Learning Center, which they have to learn. So. But thank you for coming out, and we're excited you're here. I want to tell you tonight, our Fast Track Training Seminar, this is our first one we've ever held, and this is kind of a historical moment for us, and we're sure glad you're here. And tonight is about effectively communicating. How do you communicate the message of myfix.net to your prospective distributors and customers? And in any type of communication, there is always a right way and a wrong way to do something. I can tell you that. And I want to share a little story about how I learned about effective communication when I was very, very young. When I was 9 years old, my brother at the time was 8, my sister Roseanne was 6, and we just got done finishing dinner that evening, and we asked our mom if we'd go down to the Boys Club, which is about 150 yards from our house. We had to cross one street to get there. We'd go over and go hang out at the Boys Club for an hour. And she said, that'd be great. So we got on our bikes. My sister rode on the bike with me. My brother rode on his bike. And the moment we left the house, my mother was given a truly rare gift of motherhood. She was given 1 hour without the kids. And what she did was got into the hot bath, took a nice hot bath, and off we went to the Boys Club. As we were riding our bikes down to Mistake Avenue to cross McBride, we always, of course, would train as kids to get off our bikes and then walk our bikes across the street, look for traffic and go. My brother didn't do that day. He actually went right out to the intersection. And as he did, a car was coming by at 40 miles an hour, and he actually hit the car on his bike, and was laying on the ground afterwards. And so the shock moment of seeing my brother laying there, there's no internal injuries. He just was passed out. The part of the story to tell you is that later on we found he just had a mild concussion. He was home from the hospital in a couple hours that night, and everything was well and fine. But at that moment, I remember getting off my bike with my sister, running over to my brother, seeing him laying there. And my first thought was, I'd get my mom here. And I turned to my sister and I told her to go home and give mom this message, the 5 words. Johnny's hurt, please come quickly. That was the 5 words I wanted her to go tell mom. This is what my sister did, how she communicated the message. She goes home, leaves my mom's in the bath, hot bath, relaxing, and my sister knocks on the door. Mom, I got something I got to tell you. Roseanne, what is it? Mom, I'm going to tell you something, but first promise you're not going to cry. And so my mom said, Roseanne, what is it? Mom, first promise you're not going to cry. Okay, I'm not going to cry. What's the message? Johnny's dead. That's how my sister delivered the message. The next scene is my mother, naked, with a bath towel wrapping around her, doing a 100-yard dash down Passaic Avenue, all the way to my brother's lying there in the street. To this day in West Paris, New Jersey, everybody swears my mother holds the world record for the 100-yard dash. But that moment was seeing her, how frantic she was, and just how horrible that moment was. Really taught me a lesson about communication. I heard the story later on. It was quite comical, of course, how my sister delivered that message. But it shows you how we express things sometimes can really how we get our messages across to each other. It's really important. That night, my brother came home from the hospital. My parents had stopped in a store, bought a bunch of toys. I thought that was unfair. The stupid idiot ran into a car. He does not deserve toys. We replied the next day how we got there, so I was hit by cars. We get some more toys. And but that it ended up in a good note. And my brother has since has a very hard head to this day, and survived a lot of those moments and doing well. But communication is a key ingredient to our lives. And when we communicate the message of myfix.net, there is a right way and a wrong way of doing it. The next thing I want to share with you is that I'm going to promise you, you will get no's. You will get a lot of no's. Because it will surprise you even where they come from sometimes. And I will share you a story. Here, as I teach here for Tempe High School for 15 years, and I have a woman, Sandy, who substitutes for me as a teacher whenever I need personal time off or certain days off. And I've known Sandy for 15 years. And I have both of her children come through my classes, spent 4 years in my class, and just have a great relationship with her and her family. And when I was developing the concept for myfix.net, I, of course, wanted to share it with Sandy. And I invited her to come over. So Sandy, she was going to be substitute teaching for someone here on Friday. I said, when you come over to my class, I want to share something with you about my new business. And that's all I said. That was it. Sandy had been in network marketing before, which I didn't realize. And when she walked in our room, Sandy is a petite little thing, and she walked into my room and screamed at me that I am not going to get another network marketing company ever. I'm just here because I want to see what you have, but I'm not interested in this at all. And I was so taken back by her forcefulness, her shouting at me, I quite for a minute didn't know what to do. And I realized, okay, well, she's here in front of me, might as well give her the 10-minute presentation. And I started talking. And as I started sharing the concept of MyFlix, and all of a sudden you see the light bulb went off. And Sandy started saying, well, I know so-and-so would love this, and my kids really need this in their life. And it went and went and went. And within 15 minutes later, she was already running down her list of people to show this to. You never know. Another story I want to share with you is that I had an individual, one of the very first people to sign up at myflix.net was a gentleman named Jeff LeBrun. Jeff, I didn't know where Jeff came from. He came in through the website and signed up, and we didn't know who sponsored him. And he called up a couple weeks later and wanted to go through some training with me and asked me to come over, so I invited him over to our home. And when Jeff walked in the door, when I looked at his face, I said, I've seen Jeff someplace before, but I don't know where I know him from. And so we sat down and started talking. I said, Jeff, where do I know you from? I know I've seen you someplace before. And he says, you don't realize this, but when you were starting your company and you came into the city of Glendale to apply for your sales tax license, and you had some questions about setting up your sales tax structure, I was the person they sat in the back office to answer your questions that day. I just happened, the person was ill that day, and I was one who was called up front to answer your questions. And he was so intrigued about MyFlix.net, he was following us on the internet, waiting for us to launch, and he signed up in the 24 hours after we launched our company. So here is a tax person from the city of Glendale who just by me sharing our concept, trying to apply for a sales tax license, became one of the first distributors. You never know where it's going to happen. You never know where, I promise you that. Tonight we're going to be sharing you some wonderful things, techniques, some things to learn about how to do this correctly, how to communicate it correctly, and to grow your business beyond your wildest dreams. That's what we're here to do tonight. And so with further ado, I want to introduce you to Rick Casita. And Rick has put an amazing program together. We're excited to share this with you tonight. So.